So it looks like GameStop and Microsoft's going to be teaming up for next generation. There's a couple different things that they're going to bring to the table in terms of a partnership, and I want to talk about that. But before we get on with the video, definitely hit that like button if you guys enjoyed the video. You can always subscribe to the channel for weekly content, and don't forget to go over and follow me at Twitter at LordAddictIOP. Without any further ado, let's talk about this weird partnership. What's going on, you guys? Gaming Addict here, coming at you for another video. Like I said, we're going to be talking about GameStop and Microsoft. They have formed a partnership, and there's a lot of things that's going into this partnership that I want to bring up. I do think that this could be a big deal depending on what happens in this partnership. So let's go to get over some of the key components that's happening with this deal. It's a multi-year deal. Let's start there. So this isn't just something that's going to happen this year, next year. I would say it's like a 5 to 10 year deal that's going to be taking place for the majority, if not the majority of this generation. It does look like Microsoft Cloud infrastructure is going to enhance the in-store experience and digital channels, so you can really take for that however you want to take that. Now I do know if you go into GameStop, any real GameStop, now maybe some of the bigger GameStops do have updated technology, but the GameStops around me is definitely lacking there. So I think the first thing Microsoft's going to do is upgrade everything. They're going to bring in some of the tech that maybe that they packed away after they closed all the Windows stores that was in America. I don't know if they closed them all, but they did close a good sizable amount of them. So one would think that when they closed all those stores, there's plenty of tech, plenty of equipment that they can donate, or maybe not necessarily donate, but give to these GameStops to upgrade what's going on there. It does look like employees will be equipped with Surface tablets. I do know that places like AT&T do this, where you go in there, everything's done off a tablet, and they go over more information. Now, when I see stuff like this, I do feel like this is going to be very beneficial to GameStop, because one of the biggest things that you can do to sell a product, sell, games, sell accessories, is maybe show trailers to games. Now imagine going into a GameStop and you looking up a game, and the employee comes up there, and he not only can he answer your questions on that related game, but he can use that tablet and show you the trailers, show you maybe reviews. I don't know if they'll do the reviews too much, but they can definitely show you context behind what he's asking. So it is more of a visual experience and not necessarily just a verbal experience, because a lot of that going on right now is verbal experience. When you ask a GameStop employee about a game that you particularly are interested in, unless they happen to bring up their phone, which they can definitely bring up their phone, and I'm sure some GameStop employees, the good ones, do bring up their phone and show you trailers, but now you have this nice Surface tablet that you can look on and get a good visualization on this game that you're about to buy. So it looks like on GameStop's part, they are going to earn lifetime revenues from each gamer bought into the ecosystem of Xbox. Now I don't necessarily know what that means. Maybe it means that they're going to get a bigger cut off of Xbox, whatever revenue they bring off of selling Xbox product. But it's kind of interesting they say lifetime revenue, so maybe they get a cut from Xbox itself and not just whatever they sell at their actual stores, which that seems a little slimy if you ask me, because I do feel like, as much as people don't want to admit, GameStop is still a very big contender in the retail world. I would say they still have a large majority of the gamers that go to there, not necessarily the people that might be on Twitter or etc, but I do know that there is still a lot of people that go to GameStop as a whole. So that would be really interesting, that Microsoft might be giving GameStop as a whole some of the money from the Xbox ecosystem. Now like I said, I don't necessarily know what that is. My assumption, it would be mainly around if you buy anything Xbox related in GameStop, they're going to get a bigger cut off of that. Right now we know from games, I think they get 30%, maybe they'll get 40 or even 50 if they sell Xbox product there. And I think that might be a little, drawing the line between sleazy, maybe not necessarily sleazy, but hear me out. Obviously, if they're getting a bigger cut from these games and from these consoles that they're selling that has the Xbox sign on it, or the Xbox logo for this say, then who says that this isn't going to encourage GameStop as a whole to start selling and pushing more Xbox product? Now I don't necessarily know if this is exactly how this is going, going. It's like I said, I will put the actual source to what I'm talking about in the description below. But to me, if you're getting more out of something, you're going to push that product than other things in the store. So maybe this will encourage places like, you know, Nintendo and PlayStation to up their revenue that they get with GameStop to help push more of their product in that store. Now, and then clearly, let's not act like GameStop is this huge entity. They are a former shell of what they used to be. So we don't even know if, you know, GameStop does push more towards the Microsoft brand because they'll get a bigger cut out of that they would necessarily do that. I do think that there's going to be a large portion, if this is true, that they will push for that. Because like I said, if you get more money out of this product, you're going to want to push that product a little bit more. But that's just me. I don't work at GameStop. I don't have any type of stock in GameStop. I have no clue how that stuff goes. But it's like I said, that's just my opinion. Another thing that I did notice is that every GameStop is going to be carrying the ability to go in there in the store and do Xbox All Access. Now, pretty much everything I have set up till now is in favor of GameStop. And this is the reason I think Microsoft is really going after this deal and they made this partnership. Xbox All Access is the easiest way you can get your product into consumers' houses. Now, there is this fake narrative going on that a lot of people want you to think that Microsoft is completely out of the console making business, which is completely false. They wouldn't spend millions to billions of dollars in research and development for a console that they didn't want to sell. The thing is this is no longer the focus of the company anymore when it comes to Xbox. They're focusing on the ecosystem as a whole. Kind of think of it as the pillars that people like to put games on when it comes to a platform and what makes that platform unique. Xbox has Halo, Xbox has Gears, PlayStation has Last of Us, and PlayStation has God of War. Now it's an ecosystem built on pillars. A pillar would be xCloud, a pillar would be the Xbox itself, and another pillar would be PC. They want to have all of these working together to push the Xbox ecosystem as a whole forward. Now, do they want you to go out and buy these consoles? Is it the absolute thing that they are trying to get across the consumer's face? No, they want you to know that you have the option. If you don't want to buy a console and you have a PC, you can go ahead and download it on PC. If you don't want to have a PC but you want to have a console, we have a system for you. It's called the Xbox Series X, or if you want to get the cheaper method, we can give you the Xbox Series S. Or if you don't want neither of these things, you can get this thing called Game Pass Ultimate, and you can play the games that's on Game Pass on the xCloud. And I think that with all three of these together, they're focusing on this ecosystem as a whole, and they're not focusing on one over the other. And that's the reason I think that they did this partnership with GameStop, is they want to make sure they give the consumers as many options as possible. And with the programs such as All Access, they want to make sure that you can just walk in that store, you can do that credit check, and you can walk out with the console of your choice, either the X or the S. You get that 2 years of Game Pass Ultimate, and they get you locked into that ecosystem. And I honestly think that's the end game. That is what their goal is. They want to be able to get into as many houses as possible, whether it's xCloud and you're playing your games on the go, whether it's console and you're playing your games on that OLED TV that you bought, or if you have a PC, you can just go download any of these games if you have that subscription to Game Pass PC or Game Pass Ultimate, download the games anywhere you want to play the games anywhere you want to play it. And I think that has clearly been the message that Microsoft has been sitting here lately, and GameStop is part of that thing that they need, that variable they need to make sure that they can do that as effectively as they possibly can. But anyway, tell me what you guys think. Put that in the comment section below. Do you think this GameStop deal is a good move on Microsoft, or you think it's more of a good deal on GameStop to stay relevant? Because clearly they've been shutting stores down. Who knows, maybe if they didn't do this with Microsoft, they wouldn't be around in 5 to 10 years. But I do think this really helps GameStop stay relevant a little bit. We'll have to see exactly how these goes off in a couple years, but definitely put your comments in the comment section below. I'm curious to read what you guys think this is and how relevant you think this is going to be. And until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.